Okay, so I decided after talking with my husband that there are pros and cons to trading on the phone. And like I was talking about before, one of the cons of trading on the phone is that you can't react very quickly. So I decided to try to trade with both today and see how it would go. So I had my phone up and trying to focus on looking at that to analyze my information and then actually making the trades on the computer where I could deal with it a lot quicker. And I nearly had a disaster. I think I was a little distracted. I looked on my phone, made a decision about the trade right at the peak here. I knew it was going to drop. And so I put in an order for a short on my phone and I heard it ding. I thought it took it and it almost immediately started dropping, which I was really excited about because I thought I was in a short. Put in an order, which I thought was an exit order, and it got filled right away. And I realized that I hadn't gotten in this one. And so the exit order was actually an entrance order. And so I found myself in this huge drop in a long position. So I was like, and I was still trying to bring up the computer at that point. It wasn't quite up. And I got out of that trade at a $500 loss, unfortunately. So the very first trade I made, it could have been beautiful. I just hadn't quite seen the information that I needed to see in time to react to it properly. So anyway, not a big deal. I can usually recover from that pretty quickly. But it just kind of rattled me right off the bat. So that was unfortunate. Okay, so here we can see I finally got into a short here, got myself turned around, and I put in an exit order. Oh, the other thing I did here, not quite yet, never mind. So I put in an exit order at the Fibonacci line that I had drawn out. I'm a little bit confused, actually, because one of the levels that I could see on my phone, that was the lowest level, was not adding up to the candles that I'm seeing on the computer. So I don't know what is going on there. It looks like I'm looking at the same contract period. It's H25, so I don't know why that would be different. But anyway, I'm going to go with the data that I see on my phone and not on the computer so much. All right, so here's another example of one of the ways that you can get really nervous because it looks like it's going up. And look at where the orders are in. I mean, it's huge. It jumps up like, this far in just a split second, and it can shake you. It's just really jumpy. So I've got my exit order in. I'm hoping that it will drop, and it did. All right, so it got out. Again, it's moving really fast, so I'm not always grabbing the screenshots as I see them. Okay, so now I've gotten back my losses and have made 3 trades now, and I'm sitting at $125. So I'm not surprised that that's been able to recover pretty quickly, and I'm looking good. All right, so let's look at kind of the longer term things that we can see over here. And I'm suspecting that it will indeed drop to the 58.33 level, which is way down here. But the Fibonacci lines are showing that that is possible. And that would be like 20-point drop in a day. So that's not huge. Nope, wait a minute. 120-point drop. Okay, so that would be a big drop. That would be a lot, not unheard of. We've seen a lot of drops that were that big, but that would be a pretty big drop. So just want to be careful. We want to go back and look at levels that we've seen before that are off the screen right now. But anyway, okay, so I thought perhaps it was going to jump up and get in, come up to this point. I wanted to get into a short, so I put in an order there. And it just didn't want to get up there, and it started to drop again. So I went ahead and got into a short a little bit sooner. And this is the other thing that I did to try to help kind of tone down the jitteriness of it. If you see these 2 little buttons right here, you can zoom in or out on the price. So I've zoomed out on the price so you can only see about half of the numbers that are actually able to be traded at. So now we're looking at right here, this is 187. So this movement right here is pretty big. That would be a $200 trade right there. And so that helps a little bit to tone that down. All right, so we're still seeing it drop, put in my exit order there, got filled. Now I'm sitting at 362 and I've made 4 trades now. So my I've been tainted, I suppose, because of the hugeness of the trades that I've made in not so distant future. Excuse me, not so distant past. 362 doesn't seem like an awful lot of money to me anymore. This is one of the problems with my trading is I get used to these big numbers and I kind of take for granted how hard that kind of money really is to make in the real world. So I tend to think bigger than that. So anyway, but again, I think trading needs to be done with the information that you see and not how much money you're making, which is another benefit actually to trading on the phone. You have to go out and actively look for your dollar amounts that you've made, because it's not like right there in front of you all the time. So you're not trading because of the money, you're trading because of the trades, which is a much better way to trade. Okay, so we see it kind of hit this bottom and start to go up. And I waited until it went up because I was still thinking it was going to drop. You look at the longer term charts here, the 4-hour chart, and it still is dropping. And I went out here. The green line is the trough that I saw. It was the lowest point on my phone right here. And I don't know why it's not showing up here on this computer. That's the weirdest thing to me. So anyway, I put 2 lines in. There's the orange line, which is actually what I'm seeing here, and then the green line. And you can see that's acting as kind of a resistance level because the Fibonacci line is way down there. Okay, so when it went up and then started to drop, I went in, got into a short, and you can see the MACD looks really good for that kind of a trade. Got into a short there, and it continued to go up. So I got in too soon. And again, I don't want to weigh too much on the 1,000 tick chart, which is what you see here, and it does look like it's going up. So by trading on my phone, I'm still seeing a downward trend, and it's possible I could see it go all the way up to here before it drops some more, but I'm almost certain that it will drop because of the longer term MACDs are going to pull it down. All right, so we can see it made a big upward movement, and I think at one point I actually was in a loss position of about $900 at that peak, but then I waited for it to drop and I got out at a good place. And you can see my trades here. The first one, that's where I lost the 525 because I didn't realize I hadn't gotten into the trade. And then I made 150, I made 500, I made 237, I lost 437, I made 87, and then I made 537, and then the last trade I made was 62.50. So I made some big trades and ended up making 554 for the day. So very happy with that. I have learned though that I gave up on looking at the computer because it just was rattling me too much, and I just shut it down and went and traded on my phone again. So I think I need to just stay with my phone, honestly. And my computer is it's needing to be replaced. It's getting kind of old, so it's not acting quite right anyway. So anyway, I think I have definitely come up with a new way of trading. Let's see if it can be sustained.